Going, and we should be recording.
Okay. Um, Bonjour, I'm Natalie Morales.
And I'm Marco McCartney, and welcome to our presentation on Paris.
Whoa, why is it? Paris is located in the north central part of France. La Seine runs through the city, crossing east and west. River Seine. At the northern arc of the river, there lies two small river islands connected to the city by bridges, the Ile Saint Louis and the Ile de la Cité. This location is known to be the origin of the city when it was founded in the 3rd century by a Celtic tribe, Parisii. The French capital is one of the most traveled to cities around the world. Google the most romantic city in the world and you'll find Paris as number 1. Walks around the river Seine or the cobblestone streets of Montmartre or the Eiffel Tower at dusk when the lights are on all make for great places to confess your love to that special someone. And don't worry, if you're not in love, Paris is also known as a place to find inspiration for anyone, especially artists, writers, and filmmakers. Paris is known as the City of Light or City of Lights because in the past it was known as a famous center of education and ideas, which probably explains why they have over 800 libraries in the city. Another reason they call it the City of Lights is because Paris was also one of the first to adopt street lighting in 1828, lighting the street Champs Elysees with gas lamps. Uh, and the history and the culture make it as if Paris was a city museum. There's never a bad time to travel there, unless there's a lockdown, of course. Thank goodness we are nearing the tail end of the pandemic, in which rumors have said France will be opening up its borders to international travelers as soon as the beginning of the summer. Regulations are still strict, so it's most likely they will allow travelers who have been vaccinated. We still have time to finish off this year, 2021, so which season you choose, you will not be disappointed. But for those trying to get the trip in before next semester, summer and fall are amazing. Paris in the summer is warm and exciting. Weather averages about 65 degrees, but it can get up to 75 to 80 degrees, not including if there's a heat wave. Though it does rain and get a bit muggy. It's suggested that you bring warm weather gear like short sleeve shirts and shorts, as well as rainy weather jacket and pants. This is usually the best time for festivals, aperitifs on the terrace, and nights under the stars. Paris in the fall is a great time. Is also a great time, and is also a great time to mention that there are over 70,000 trees in Paris. It was estimated one to every four Parisian, which means Paris in the fall is covered with beautiful autumn leaves and colors. It is also time for the annual grape harvesting, an exciting time for all the new wine to come.
All right, so now to talk about the flight information. So round trip flights from SFO to Charles de Gaulle Airport, which is the closest airport to Paris, are approximately $700 to $950 for this summer. And the flight is approximately 11 to 16 hours, depending on if you have a connection. And the major airlines that fly to Paris are Delta, British Airways, Premier Air, American Airlines, Air France, United, Norwegian Air, and the French Bee. So for hotels, there are a wide variety of hotel options in Paris. You can choose from budget, mid-range, and luxury hotels. And you can find hotels as cheap as $50 a night all the way to over $1,000. And depending on your budget, there will be many options for you to choose from in Paris. So the other options that you have, Paris has many Airbnbs and similar providers to stay in Paris. Most of the offerings are apartments, and Airbnbs are a great option because their prices are competitive with hotels, and you're able to get an authentic experience by staying in an Airbnb in a specific neighborhood. So the other options that you have, if you are young and on a budget, then a backpacker hostel in Paris might be for you. These hostels offer cheap accommodations ranging from dorms, private rooms, and sleeping pods. Prices for these accommodations are all the way from 19 to 50 euros. And when choosing a hostel, you must consider the neighborhood in which you will stay. Stay near the Eiffel Tower for the tower, stay in Montremar for the cafes, the little cobbled streets, and the cheapest prices, or stay in Oberkampf for the nightlife and the action. Some of the best hostels in Paris are the St. Christopher's in Gare du Nord and the Generator. Both have bars, restaurants, and a cafe on site. So next we'll be talking about the public transportation, and there are a lot of different options for public transit within Paris and in France in general. And so we'll be going into each of those. The first one is the metro. So the metro is a great way to travel throughout the city. It has 304 stations and 16 lines. It is an extremely robust rapid transit system, being the second busiest in all of Europe. And tickets can be purchased at the automated kiosks like BART. And one ticket is good for any destination in Paris, and transfers are permitted. Now on to the RER, or also known as the Regional Express Network. It is a commuter rail and a rapid transit system connecting Paris and its suburbs. It acts similar to the metro, but is much faster because it has fewer stops. The next we have the tram, and the tram is a light rail system that mainly runs in the suburban regions of Paris. It's currently being expanded to offer more services within Paris, but it's unless you're going outside of Paris city, it's unlikely that you will use the tram for this trip. But what is likely is you will be likely to use the Noctillion or night bus. And this is a really cool service, public transit service that Paris offers. And so when the other public transits close, the Noctillion or night bus operates from 12 to 5:30 a.m. It has 48 lines, 1,392 stops, and it is a great option for traveling at night. So next we have individual transportation and walking. Many destinations within Paris are walkable. Parisinians walk a lot in their daily lives, and so make sure that you bring a good pair of shoes for active days. Another option is e-scooters. E-scooters are widely available in Paris, and they are very convenient for traveling longer distances. But remember that Paris has strict laws regulating the use of e-scooters, so make sure to obey all traffic laws, don't ride on the sidewalk, and use a reasonable speed. Bikes are convenient as well. They can be rented similar to how electric scooters are rented now. And Vespas or mopeds can also be rented as well, and those are a convenient way to travel throughout the city. We would not recommend renting a car in Paris. all of the public transportation and everything is within walking distance. Having a car is just going to be too difficult for your time in Paris. So we would not recommend bringing one and using public transportation. Now we'll be going on to the activities. So for the activities, we'll start with the Musée d'Orsay. Musée d'Orsay is known for its French art from 1848 to 1914. It has paintings, sculptures, furniture, and photographs. And some of the famous artists include Van Gogh and Claude Monet. And tickets are about $16 or 16 euros. The Louvre Museum is the most popular museum in the world. It has approximately 400,000 objects and 35,000 pieces of art with 8 curatorial departments. It is also home of the Mona Lisa, making it a must-see when you are visiting in Paris. And tickets are approximately 17 euros. Now on to the Eiffel Tower. So the Eiffel Tower is the most visited paid monument in the world. It is 1,063 feet tall and the equivalent of an 81-story building. The Eiffel Tower has 3 floors that can be accessed by lift. Floors 1 and 2 have restaurants, and the third floor is an observation deck at 906 feet. Lift prices to the top are 26 euros. Next, we have the Arc de Triomphe. This is one of the most famous monuments in Paris. It stands at the western end of Champs-Élysées, and it is an honor to the fallen soldiers from the French and Napoleonic Wars. Underneath lies the tomb of the unknown soldier from World War I. And you can buy tickets to the rooftop for 12 euros or stand under the arc for free. All right, so next we have the Latin Quarter. So the Latin Quarter is known for its student life, its great atmosphere, bistros. The Latin Quarter is a great place for you to visit when you're in Paris. You can get a feel for how students in Paris live by seeing the numerous universities that lie within the Latin Quarter. Next, we have the Seine River. The Seine River is a great place to walk along and enjoy the scenery within Paris. It's a good place to have a picnic or get a tour on a boat for a unique view of Paris. And next we have the Jardin des Tuileries and the Luxembourg Garden. And these are great places to relax, read a book, have a picnic, smell the flowers, and socialize. And visiting these parks and gardens are an important part of your trip to Paris because they are so unique and have so much history to them. So that concludes the activities portion that we recommend. We will now go on to our list of accommodations and activities.
Yes, so we've decided to put together a 4-day itinerary for you to make it easy for a 3-night, 4-day trip. And we have everything planned. For day 1, if you're anything like me, you will need to get coffee in the morning. If you're not a coffee person, it will suit you to at least experience the famous cosmopolitan cafe culture in Paris. There are over 9,000 terraces in the city that are opened year round and often kept heated, which is why I suggested the open terrace. French people are not big breakfast eaters. It's probably their least important meal. So something light is often preferred. Coffee is a must, though. It's also recommended to order a croissant, which is a common breakfast for the locals. According to a French YouTube blogger, the best croissants have many layers, are crispy on the outside and chewy on the inside. I should mention, if you're eating at a cafe with a terrace, it usually is open seating in which you will be able to seat yourself and wait for your server to come to you. It's mentioned to be patient, as some service may be a bit slow. There's a rumor that French can be mean or rude people, but according to the bloggers I watched on YouTube, they say Parisians just want to be treated with respect. Therefore, when engaging with anyone, start by saying bonjour, which means hello or good morning. Some other need to know words or phrases for ordering coffee include these here, but I won't try to botch them myself and allow the video to properly tell you. But we do encourage you to watch the full video before ordering just to practice.
If you'd like an espresso, you can say, Je voudrais un café. I'd like an espresso. Je voudrais un café.
Okay, for our day one activity.
All right, so for our day one activity, Get Your Guide is a great resource for finding things to do in Paris. And so for 70 euros, you can get a tour of the Seine River and admire the Arc de Triomphe. Lunch and tickets to the Arc are included. And this is just a great way to start your trip in Paris by seeing the Arc de Triomphe and having lunch on the Seine River.
After the river cruise, I would recommend taking a walk to have a nice dinner in the area, and you'll probably want a nice walk after that lunch. Parisians usually have late dinners starting around 7:30 to 8 and lasting hours because of the courses. A great place to enjoy the experience of a full course meal would be Le Restaurant, where they offer traditional French food and full course dining with a variety of wine, or something more reasonable pricing. You can try the Loft Burger Paris, which is located minutes away from the cruise drop off and close to the Louvre, where people give this place a great score for their tasty burgers and French fries. Here I have some phrases and words translated for when you're ordering dinner. Um, the the video includes other proper pronunciations. Here's only a quick clip, but I do also recommend watching the video fully before ordering dinner just to practice. But before anything, remember to always be nice, patient, and always start with a smile and a friendly bonjour.
Sur place ou à emporter? Sur place, s'il vous plaît. Sur place. À emporter.
Also, something important I should mention about French dinners is that, yes, they do have many courses. French people eat their dinners at home as if they were in a Michelin star restaurant, usually starting with an alcoholic drink to start the digestive process, which is called an aperitif. Then up to two starters, depending on the size, a main entree, some sort of cheese, dessert, digestif, and the after meal drink, then coffee, which means that dinners can last a long time.
Sur
Okay. And for day two in the morning, we suggest you try a crepe, another traditional on the go breakfast for Parisians, usually around $7. A great place I would recommend is Marche des Enfants Rouges, which is located in the 3rd district. It's a fresh marketplace where you can find local eats with plenty of seating for friends, as well as a place to buy fresh flowers, seafood, and cheese.
All right, so for day two is museum day. Today we will visit the Musée d'Orsay and the Louvre Museum. These are two must-see museums in Paris, and both contain famous pieces. They're within walking distance of each other, which makes them ideal to visit on the same day. So that's what we'll be doing for the afternoon of day 2.
And after the beautiful museums, I'm going to send you back to the La Marais district where that market was. And there they offer plenty of street food, but particularly on the street Rue des Rosiers, you can find lots of places offering falafels, which is recommended as their specialty. We say order a hefty falafel, then head over to some wine tasting. People say you can't go wrong with the wine in Paris. Even supermarket wine can surprise you with the quality. The Vino Maurice is recommended by locals as a great place to try all different varieties of wine from all the regions in France. They offer wine experiences, or it's fine to walk in and try some French wines by the glass.
All right, so for day 2, the evening activity, we're going to visit the Eiffel Tower at night. So buy lift tickets to the top for an amazing view of Paris City. And as you can see here in the picture on the left, this is the view that you will get from the top of the Eiffel Tower. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's a must-see when you're in Paris.
Okay, if you want to experience what it's like to eat inside the famous Eiffel Tower, there are a few options. You will need a ticket, which is why you should hold on to the experience for the nighttime. Le Jules Verne, located on the second floor, offers fine dining from a world-renowned chef that will cost about $250 a person, and you must have reservations. A more casual place called 58 Tour Eiffel um, recommends that you have reservations, but it's not required. This is located on the floor below, the first floor, and you're looking to spend about $50 to $100 a person, but which may be worth it for the experience. There is a champagne bar located on the summit floor, which is the third floor. You can purchase a glass of champagne for about $15 a glass and enjoy the beautiful lights before or after the meal. Okay, and so then the next day, for day 3, we suggest another typical breakfast, which is coffee with tartine. Basically, a baguette with your choice of butter or jelly.
So day 3 activity is Garden Day. Garden des Trulies has a long-standing history and was created in 1564. It has a variety of sculptures, gardens, and grassy areas for public enjoyment. So after you're done enjoying the Gardens des Trulies, walk 30 minutes to the Luxembourg Gardens and enjoy the pool and palace gardens and relaxing areas with grass and trees.
After the gardens, we suggest you have lunch at one of their bakeries. Parisians take bread very seriously. To be a true boulangerie, they must bake on site. So to be a true bakery, you must bake on site. And there are over 1,200 bakeries in the city, so you can always find at least one open. And located across the street from the Jardin des Trulies is a highly rated cafe named Happy Cafe, which is a typical cafe where you can find bread, sandwiches, and quick bites. And just a quick 3-minute walk from the garden.
All right, so for the day 3 nighttime activity, explore the Latin Quarter. So wander the Latin Quarter and experience the student life in Paris City. There are a multitude of bistros, cafes, bars, and clubs that are open late into the night, and you will find something for everyone there.
And near the Latin Quarter are a couple of restaurants that we would recommend. The Table de Colette. It's a eco-friendly vegan restaurant that offers amazing food. It's a bit pricey, but because a typical meal can run from $50 to $100, but no doubt a great experience. Or you could do something more moderately priced, as we have Chez Ornu that offer French and Italian food with a cozy ambiance, which is recommended if you don't try the street food from the French Quarter. So on the next day, for the very last day breakfast, we are going to challenge you to choose your favorite cafe with a terrace, maybe one that you have not tried but have seen passing by, and order in French and to not be nervous, because this time you should be a pro. And after your lovely experience of breakfast, we are going to include shopping, of course, before we go home. And we do know that Paris is the capital of hot culture and fashion. It's been the fashion capital since the 17th century, with popular designers that we recognize like Coco Chanel, Christian Dior, Louis Vuitton. Um, the golden triangle that you see here is where you can find the most prestigious international labels. But if you are looking for something a bit more modest, we have the Grand Boulevard here, which is a huge Art Deco of shopping malls, as well as the Marais district that have trendy and vintage shops. Okay, so the budget, I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, so the budget for the two-person trip, flights are gonna come out to for this summer to approximately $800 per person. And the hotel that we would recommend is the Pullman Paris Tour Eiffel. It is a nice hotel with polished rooms and a view of the Eiffel Tower for $227 per night. And for transportation, it comes out to about $200, and this includes about a $36 airport taxi each way. And that includes public transportations, the metro, and if you're going to take an Uber at night to get back to your hotel room. Activities come out to $155 per person. That includes the river tour, tickets to the museum, and food can range. It depends on your budget. As we heard, some of the meals could be as much as $200, but for our trip, and we can estimate that it'll come out to an average of $75 a day per person, which comes out to a total of approximately $3,000 for everything that we've included in this presentation. So remember that shopping and anything extra, like having a more lavish meal, is going to make your trip more expensive. But this is about what you can expect to pay to go on a modestly nice trip to Paris.
Okay, well, this concludes our presentation. We hope you enjoyed, and we hope to see you hopefully one day in Paris, France.
Merci. Au revoir. Ciao. Oh, bye.
Ciao.
Ciao. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.